All right, there we are. Woo! I tell you what, we were working on pulling up some audio and video right up to the last second here.
It's good stuff.
It is good.
You guys will like it.
The question is, how well can you hear it? Now,
we're hoping.
We picked out some good stuff, and we're really hoping that everybody can hear it. So
we'll play that, how about, in about 15 minutes?
Yeah, let's play it about halfway through. Now, I suppose we should tell them what we're talking about. We are talking about an investigation we did. Oh boy, that was a long time ago now, huh? It was. I have the date right here. No, I don't.
Oh, yeah,
2017, I believe. Yeah, the folder's right there.
All right, good.
So we...
Yeah, 2017. It was in...
March 31st.
April. Oh, no. Never mind.
No, that was a revisit.
I looked at the wrong date.
Yeah, when we were there, it was March 31st. So this month, and not really that long ago. Hello, Rita. Hello, Melissa.
Somebody else was just...
I know, it went so fast, I missed it.
Scroll down.
Can you?
Yeah. Lori,
hello.
Hi, Lori.
Yeah, they pop by there really fast. And so we were out by, what were we going to call it?
Cedar Mills.
Cedar Mills. There's about 3 towns out there that are all very close. They all start with a C.
And they're tiny.
They're all tiny. Beautiful little towns, of course. But this location is just kind of out in the middle of all of them. And
we nicknamed it the Hell Farm last time we were talking.
We did. We gave it a nasty name. We didn't really come up with a new name for it.
I was thinking about it, but nothing came up.
But nonetheless, Mark, why don't you give them a short synopsis of what was going on there?
Certainly, yeah. It was
I have you move up a little bit.
It was a guy that lived there with his son. And, I mean, was his son there for the most part, or did...
Not just weekends and stuff, I think.
So, yeah, it was a split thing with his ex or whatever, but... So, for about 30 days, about a month, the kid... How old was he? Do you remember? 10, maybe?
No, he was only like 3.
Oh, he's like, okay, a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, so, the kid would run into Dad's room and go, "Hey, Dad, do you mind, can I sleep with you tonight?" or whatever. So, he's like, "Okay, yeah." And so the kid would, because he knew the kid was scared.
Yeah, he was scared to be in his room.
Just like kids do. And then about 30 days into it, he saw the black shadow, drifting along behind his kid. And that's when he really started noticing things.
Literally chasing.
Yeah, chasing the kid. So then he's like, oh, something's going on. And then there was one of those bouncy horses. They're on springs, and... He said he saw that push down.
Yeah.
Russell, show that to you on the picture here.
Now, I was talking to Melissa, and she's like, "Let me show you the tool." So there's the bouncy horse that would raise right up off the ground. I mean, it would lift up. The horse would.
It was getting shoved down, and then it would release it and let it come up.
Yeah.
So anyways,
acting weird.
They were messing with the horse, and then also one of his experiences, which I thought was pretty impressive, was he was in the kitchen, and he was going to go to work early, or he was working early or whatever.
Yep.
And he was between the kitchen and the back door or whatever, and the kitchen door slammed right in his face. Just boom! Just
hard. Just slammed like crazy.
Yeah, so according to him, he was like, it doesn't really bother me so much. He kind of... non-believer in this stuff for quite a while, but now he witnessed it, so he knows.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing he wanted was to take care of it for his son.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that his son was safe, and eventually he just moved out.
He moved out, yeah. So we've been waiting for another call to that house, but
yeah, despite the fact we did go back a second time and we did a little work.
Yep.
We actually did some crossover work there, and we actually had some people cross over, at least say they were.
Yeah.
And we got that. We're going to play that tonight, too.
We just needed a little more time in there, I think.
Yes. And, 2017, that was in the time period when we were just kind of rolling.
Stretching our wings.
Yeah, we were stretching the wings. We were just starting with the healing and the crossovers and different things like that. So this was a case that's early on in the healing part of it, and so we had a lot to learn. Let's just say that, and we've come a long way since.
It is, and it's kind of one of my favorites. I mean, I got a lot that I like, but it's one that I think back on, and we had some really good experiences there.
Yeah, I think I would place this in the top 2 as far as the quality of frightening experiences. This thing it threw a lot of stuff at us.
Yeah.
You know, not only did we have a ton of audio, which we're going to show you here in a few minutes, but we also were physically hearing things. Not in you know, we have audio that we pick up, EVPs and different things, but we were hearing voices talking in the floor of the house, literally.
Right, and when we went to the basement to check it out, we heard a growl audibly.
Right when we opened the door.
Yep, it growled at us. Yep.
Yeah.
And then what else?
And we got the growl on. We're gonna show that too.
Good, yeah. So we've got a lot of kind of neat audio that we can play.
Yep.
But you know, some of the other experiences too. You're going to show them that tree, I think.
I'm going to show them the tree.
So that's a little ways into it, but.
And this is an old farm. This isn't something new. And this is where you have to walk outside, and to get in the basement, you got to open up that big, heavy door.
The hurricane door.
The hurricane door.
Yeah.
To get down in this hole underneath the house. And there, we actually, I don't have that up here, but we actually caught something moving across the basement floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I recall that too. We had there is a full video out on this case. It's on YouTube.
A lot of experiences there.
Yeah. So we had the voices, but we also were seeing some things too.
Right.
We were in one of the upstairs rooms, and it was just pitch black. It was at night. There was no moon coming in that side hardly at all.
No yard light on that side.
No yard light on that side of the house. So this room in the upstairs is just pitch black. And I'm sitting up there, and Mark comes up, and he sits down, and he said, I'm going to just lay down and listen for a while. And earlier years when we started our meditation sessions, where we would just sit for about 30, 40 minutes and just take in the sounds of the house and the atmosphere.
Get familiar with the house, yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, Mark, are your eyes open? Because I was seeing these little ribbon things, little white ribbons. And I mean, it's pitch black.
Yeah, they're like glowing.
And they're little tiny glowing ribbons. And when they come by your face, they'd circle by you like that. And you would feel about that much wind, as if you just take your hand like that. You'd feel the breeze of them coming by you.
Yeah, so Russ asked me that, and I looked up, and I saw them, and they were heading past his face. He's like, I felt the breeze.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, these things were, like you said, they're ribbony, and they kind of glowed.
Yeah, kind of, just kind of white in the blackness of...
They were funky. That was really a neat experience.
I think we've saw similar, but I've never seen them that defined.
Right, yeah.
Anywhere else we've been.
Because they spent time in front of our face, like right in front of us.
Yeah.
Like checking us out or whatever.
And just circling around.
Yep.
And I don't know how many times I felt that little breeze on my face.
Right.
But
and now one thing too about that attic, there was that picture in there, and Russ put a little picture of the picture, and it had sat in that weird attic space
right at the door.
Yeah, right at the door.
The picture was facing into the attic.
Yeah.
As if it was
to ward off something,
protecting the door and keeping anything from coming out. That was kind of weird.
It was.
And you could feel the energy up there. There was no doubt about it. Yeah. And we went up there and did an audio session later on, and we do have some of that audio coming up here. But, and then we had activity. Tell them about you going outside. You had to make a phone call or something?
Oh, I took a phone call, and I'm like, okay, I got to take this. And I stepped out, and it was a friend who called me for some reason. I don't even know why. But I'm out kind of at the far end of the courtyard, and all of a sudden there was something like right in front of me. I'm thinking, oh, this is an animal, but it wasn't. It ricocheted up into the loft of the barn. This noise, this slamming and rustling, and then it shot to a shed next to it, and then across back, I think, into that one bigger shed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap.
So we're not really seeing anything,
I didn't see
but you can hear it just because things will creak and move as it goes.
And it was loud, and
yeah,
I just slammed all around the court or the farmyard, and my friend was like, I'm
going.
out. So she hung up. But yeah,
well,
that was interesting. Yeah, that place was brooding. Like the farmhouse looked.
It wasn't an ordinary farmhouse either. It was
looked like a murder house.
Unusual shape to it. And one of the biggest things that the client told us is that the 666 is on the shed door, but you can't see it.
Right.
Only if you're standing by the house shining the lights down at the shed, you can see the 666 on the shed. And these buggers are
about 4 feet.
4 feet at least in height, right next to each other on the shed. And we went down to that shed in the daylight, and we were all over that shed.
It was night, but we had the flashlights.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it was in the evening. Yeah.
Evening, yep. Dusk.
And we didn't. Yeah, it's like a beat up shed door, like any farm shed door.
Right.
But yeah, you couldn't see any scratches in it or anything.
No paint.
Imprints.
No nothing.
But he was right. When he'd pull the car around next to the house, and since it was, winterish, the lights were on and early, and then he turned the lights on. Sure enough, you could see the big 666.
Yeah, nasty.
Huge, and I got a picture of it.
Huge.
And unfortunately, I
couldn't find it tonight.
I have to look, but.
And then sometime during the night, we were outside several times because we had to go outside to get into that basement door. And at one point we were outside and we had what sounded like about 15 coyotes that come right up to the edge of the property line. And they were just letting us have it.
Yeah, and we've experienced that quite a bit.
Yes, at different locations.
Like out in the country, typically, and the coyotes come and then they circle the place, and it gets pretty wild.
Yeah, gets eerie. Very eerie. And this place had all of the tools of eeriness to it.
It did.
And it was the type of place where, really the energy, I think Mark and I both felt the energy after we were home. We still could feel the energy of it.
Feel it when you drive by it now. Even.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually, the reason we thought about doing this case review tonight is because we were sighting out another place, another client's house, and we drove right by this place. Well, we kind of had to take a couple turns, but we went right by this place the other day. Intentionally, yeah, we did.
So another experience that we had, there's too many.
There's a lot.
Which one was I trying to think of? This was, you were watching video.
Yeah, we were watching video.
Well, we were, and we saw what looked like two people walking through the kitchen. And it was during the time that all three of us were outside of the house. And then we went back to try to find it, and it's gone.
Yeah, because we're like, initially we saw two people walk through the kitchen, and we're like, you assume it's me and him.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden the reality hits me, and I'm like,
we're already outside.
Mark, that's not us.
Right.
And there's only the homeowner, only one other person. There's only three on the whole property.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Unfortunately it disappeared.
So we're like, well, let's figure out who that is. So we reversed and played back. And to this day, we have never found that little clip where two people walked across the kitchen.
It's unfortunate.
That weren't us. That's how weird supernatural gets.
So another funky thing when we were reviewing the evidence was when we were upstairs and you were talking.
Right.
And then that spirit changed the words.
Yep.
Warped your words. Like piggybacked.
Yep.
A lot of strange things happen there.
Well, we should play some of the audio Now, I'm going to pick up this, and I don't know what is the best thing. I'm going to turn it right now. And we're going to pick up on some different...
You want to do this one since it's up?
Yes, let's do this one. Now, I have the little video clips here, and I'll kind of talk through them as we go. I know that we're all using phones, and it ain't going to be as clear as I'd like it to be, but I'll play a couple of these, and then I'll play one and I'll explain it. Here's the first one. Now that sounds like some type of a kid's electronic toy. And we automatically assumed it was something that the son had in his room. But we hit that thing hard, and we never found anything.
So we were upstairs, right?
Yeah, and we were upstairs at the time.
So we were still upstairs, and the guy that lived there was on his easy chair or whatever.
Right, he's hanging out.
And he's snoring away, and none of us heard it.
Yeah.
You know, any of this stuff we're playing right now, we didn't hear it during the investigation.
No, it was silent.
We were just right upstairs.
Yeah, it was silent as can be. At one point, we were doing a audio session, but that's you can hear us up there because we're like separate. Let's play the next one. Oh, that one's frightening. Oh. Now, I think that one has to be the most frightening one out there.
the baby cry. I remember when you picked that up, you were like, "Oh my gosh, the craziest sounds!" And you know, so you called me, and then you played all these, and just amazing. You know, especially amazing that we couldn't hear it.
Yeah, we didn't hear a thing.
And
nor the client.
Right, the device that picked this sound up was a camera right by his head.
Right.
So occasionally through here you can hear him snoring. You probably won't, but it's fine. But with as loud as it was, he should have picked up on it if it was.
Yeah, and sometimes he was awake, but he was just sitting there quietly.
Yeah.
And you'll hear him clear his throat. But all right, let's go back, and we're gonna play a couple now. Now that one kind of sounds like a train. And right at the end there, right in here, it says good night. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but
yeah, the good night's a little.
What is the blue words on here? I can see like people like talking, but I don't know.
Let's see here.
Oh, it's not moving up.
Bring them on camera.
Oh, it's not going up like it's supposed to.
Let's see if we missed anything. We'll come back to it.
Hello, Jackie. Yeah, I suppose I messed with it now, and now it's not moving for me. Baby cry. Oh, what do I got to hit a button?
Yeah, Erica, it was, and Melissa, it was a baby crying.
Yeah, definitely a baby crying. Okay. All right, we're going to play another one.
Is anybody out there? Can you talk to an animal a little easier? Can you talk to an animal a little easier? What's your name?
Now, I don't know if you can hear it as well as we can hear it in here, but we have all kinds of, almost sounds like a ham radio going on, and this guy does not have a ham radio.
No.
But it sounds like there's a ham radio on in the house, and we're hearing stuff through it, only that doesn't exist. And so in through here, we had some loud blurps, and then a big static thing here. And keep in mind, we're there, and it is just quiet. We're not hearing a thing. There's a little bit more. There's one coming up that sounds like a fax machine. I think that's coming up next. Oh, look at that. There we got a name. It was Zasmine, like a Zasmine. And it was probably in response to one of the questions that we were asking upstairs. Now, I'm sure that just sounded like a mush pie to you. But if you could hear like paper and a fax machine running.
Yeah.
And
keep in mind there was no sounds. Just us asking questions.
I feel like I'm really wiggling. Do you want to hold this?
Sure.
Because I can't seem to hold that with my left hand that well. Here's the clock. But he had no clock in that house that made that type of noise.
So baby sounds, clock ticking,
fax machine, and it just keeps rolling. I'll show it up there. And the reason I showed that part was because the minute that our feet hit the first floor, all the noises stopped.
Yeah,
but
we couldn't hear it coming.
All that loud hissing and noise, we heard nothing. Not a thing. One more little bit here. Play this next bit. I'll play this next bit here. We call this the dinosaur. I don't know about you, but that's crazy. That is just absolutely nuts. There's no way. Let's get our faces back on here.
Is the music right after that too? Like
maybe there is. Should we keep playing it a little bit?
Just for a second.
All right. Yeah, definitely a grandfather clock, but it didn't exist. Now there's some crazy radio going to come up. In 1 second. And more dinosaur.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's just...
So we didn't have any equipment on at that time. Except for the camera recording and probably some audio devices.
But we went through every toy in that bedroom.
Yep.
There was nothing at all that even... He didn't have... I don't think he had a single toy that even made a noise. Not one. We went through that house, up, down, inside, out. There was nothing that would create these types of noises. The dinosaur, the facsimile, the grandfather clock, the rock and roll party. And there's another bit in here that's not quite as loud. But we literally could hear the remnants of a party from like 1970 cooking. Probably some, who knows? Somebody had a big party there. And that energy was stuck in that house with all this other crazy stuff. And I mean, I can't explain it. And that's why we're talking about it tonight. Because it has to be, like I say, it's in the top 2 for me.
One of the crazy,
as far as, the eeriness. I mean, even when we were there, it was eerie because we were hearing voices all the time.
Yep.
And so I'm going to get rid of this now. Get rid of that. I'm going to make some room here. Because I did throw a picture on, and I'll bring the branch up, and you can talk about the branch a little bit.
All right, so
Let me see. I need to get on here correctly.
So this had broken fairly recently.
You can see the fresh break up on
Yeah.
top there.
And that evening as we were walking around, he just gave us, I suppose, a little outside tour, bring us around.
Small tour to bring us to the door, right?
The door to the basement, yeah. And as we're walking along, we're all three alongside the house, and that started like swinging wildly.
When we say swinging wildly, I would say at least an 18-inch back and forth.
It was wild.
18 inches for sure.
And it wasn't windy, and
No
none
wind.
of us walked next to it. I mean, I took out the rear, and the guy that lived there was right in front of me, and then Russ, and we were just right alongside the house, maybe about.
And I heard it, and I swung around
Yeah.
instantly, and I said, "Who pulled down the tree?" And everybody's like, "We're not even close to it." And I'm like, "Are you absolutely sure? Because that thing's swinging like a little kid was hanging on it."
Yeah, I would have seen him grab it, but we were at least 10 feet away from it, if not more.
Yeah, it was
just
crazy.
swinging like crazy.
And this is right by the basement, outside basement door. And when we opened that door, we heard ourselves a little growl. And I think I have an example of that growl. Let's see. Here it is. Oopie.
Oh, it's thinking.
Okay, I'm setting this digital.
And then you hear some little giggling.
Okay. Okay.
And that's the growl. And that came out of the basement when we went down there.
Yep.
And like I said, we even saw, I wouldn't call it an apparition, but we saw a shadow move across the basement. We actually have it on film. And, well, let's listen to these last couple audio bits, and then we can wrap up our conversation on it. Here is like what we heard to be like Morse code. And camera up on the boy's bedroom.
Oh, you know, I didn't turn this thing on. I should have turned it on when we left.
Yeah. Now, and I'll tell you what, we could use a person on the team that knows Morse code. That is not the first time we've heard Morse code. It won't be the last. And I'll play a couple more from the audio session that we did. This is with the PBS 7, but pretty good. Now this one you can hear, it says, "Fortunate night."
Fortunate night. Fortunate night. Fortunate night.
That's kind of interesting. "Fortunate night," it says. Here is a voice of a older man. It actually sounds like it's saying a name. And this is a couple weeks later. We went back out there. No, Jackie, I think, hello, Gina. Jackie, I think the biggest thing is that a number of them seem like they were memory type of the history of that. And other ones were like they were inside of a ham radio or something. That's the way they literally sounded, like it was coming out of a ham radio to us. And it was really unusual the way, there was no rhyme or reason to it. You start out with some dinosaurs. You have a baby cry. A clock ticking. Boom, boom, boom. All these weird little things.
I think the theme is it's just weird. Like that place.
The theme is it's weird.
Yeah, I know.
That answers it all.
Well, yeah, because we like a lot of that stuff was no rhyme and reason. Some of it was in response to us, but
Right.
you know, like the growl but
Yeah, and it definitely, like, some of the responses, we were upstairs asking questions, and some of the activity, I think, related to the questions that we were asking, you know?
yeah. So there's a lot more evidence from that place. We can't play it all, obviously.
There's tons. I'm just going to play this last one because this is when we went back, and we said it had kind of a dark feel to it. This is what we got at the final crossover session. Now, it sounds to me like it says, priest went to. The priest apparently was at that house and crossed over. And that's back in the day when we used to run the PBS 7s a little bit more. And, I mean, I still like that tool. We just do so many different things now. If we need to get additional evidence, we will. But, all right, let's go back to face time. All right, so, yeah, because you looked at the broken tree long enough. But this case, like I say, top 2, unusual audio for darn sure.
Right. Intriguing. It was a lot of bang for the buck.
But you'd be standing there and you would feel the cold right on your back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we had gone back to, like, just wrap it up and, you know...
During the crossover.
Yeah, film a little bit during the crossover and all that. And Russ had been standing by the stairway to the upstairs, and I came and stood next to him, and I heard this really heavy breathing. So I went over to where those guys were standing, and it wasn't them. I was like, okay, so I went back. And then it's still, and it was ice cold.
Hello, Jen.
It was ice cold behind us. And you put your hand back there and felt it as well, right?
Right. Yeah, I went back there and I checked the air. We didn't have our fancy temperature thing back in those days.
No.
But I'll tell you what, we were there with the client and
His buddy and
a friend and
two girlfriends.
Two girlfriends, and we all went there together the second time. The house had been sitting empty, and I say empty, the house was completely empty. He had moved out, like, shortly after we were at the house and started identifying what was all going on at this place. He left. And but we went back, because I said, I want to come and at least try to cross the spirits over. So we went back there, and there's like 4 or 5 of us standing in the kitchen, and the voices were coming out of the floor. Mm-hmm. We're all standing there, we're like, do you hear that? And like the voice, literally at our feet, like they were seeping up out of the floor.
They were getting a little nervous.
Oh, man, I never had it so clear, and I could hear it plain as day, just like it was oozing out of the floor, voices and stuff from years ago. Hello, Jen. So it was really, I can't say enough about that particular case. And we've probably said enough. It is 7:33. Been going for about 33 minutes.
It was a neat case.
It was a great case. Hello, Andy. If you're just getting on, I encourage you to jump back to the beginning and catch up with what we all talked about. We showed a few pictures, but we played a lot of good audio, and hopefully it was quite clear, and we were excited about it. Now, next Tuesday, we haven't even discussed the topic yet, really. I think somebody brought one up, and I got it written down here somewhere. But we're going to be here next Tuesday. The plan is to be here every Tuesday at 7.
Except for the occasional Wednesday.
Yeah, we do actually. We have a case coming up on a Wednesday. When is that?
It's next month.
April 20th.
Yeah, April 20th.
April 20th, we're going to be at a very popular hotel in Minnesota. It's a haunted hotel, and we are very excited to go there. We're going to probably be one of the only ones in the entire, April 20th, in the entire hotel that night. and it's a Wednesday night. So in that case, we're going to move Tuesday to Wednesday, and we're going to do our live session from that hotel. And I'm excited about that one.
Me too. I think it'll be fun.
Because we've been there before, and we picked up a lot of good evidence
We
there.
have. Yeah, and we can
So-
talk about some of it that night.
Right. We'll just, we'll talk. We'll do a evidence review.
We'll save it, yeah.
At least a partial one.
Some neat things that happen.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, I thank everybody for listening tonight, coming through,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
we absolutely love this. So, please, let us know if you like this. Hit the like button, subscribe buttons. This show. Now, unfortunately, I'm heading out of town tonight, so this show won't hit YouTube for about 3 days. But the other ones that are on YouTube, at least 4 or 5 weeks worth.
Right.
And let us know if you like this kind of stuff. Let us know if you have some topics.
Yeah, if you have ideas, throw them in the anywhere.
Yeah.
On the Search for Spirit page.
Just on,
Under the...
send me a Facebook message. This, that, everything. So, all right. We talk a lot. Thank you very much for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
We really appreciate it. And you all have a beautiful Tuesday warm night.
So great.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.